A Song for the Road Home. 1. I walk down the road to my home with broken shoes and a song, my back sore from my load of things. How could I have left my mother's side to get a greater experience of the world? The roses along the roadside are more fragrant when you are moving by them than when you dally. This is because the fruit from the tree that grew in my yard as a child is fragrant in each of them. Never mind that I have no money to pay the cobbler. My bare feet can take turns with the worn foot coverings. Such a relief comes to the heart of the traveler when he sings with yearning for a picnic with you. You were the child who was to be my bride, and I was groomed by our ancestors to be near you. This thorn in my heart has lacerated my song and given sweetness to my suffering for your kiss. You will not have guessed that this pair of rabbits, which I fed out of my knapsack for weeks, is for you. I've learned how to work for the emperor of the world, but I've not yet earned my time to live in solitude with you. If one of my brothers or kinsfolk has not put his jade ring upon your finger, I have made you a ring of songs. This has been my time to gather wisdom like seeds from the farmer's fields, and to plant them in my heart. I have a history now, whereas before my history was common with all of the children who played with us. You will like to know that I have not sold my dignity on the market alongside my shovel and my time. Yours is the bosom I wish to lay my head down upon while singing this song to you under the plum tree. If your hand has been given into the hand of another, will you give your hand gladly into mine as a friend? I imagine that with your hand in mine, I will put a ring of grass leaves around it, laughing and sing to you. These shoes are no more a burden to my feet than is the pain in my heart from loving you. I patch my heart together as I can and lay it down upon the altar of our home, a tattered bird. You will not have missed me most probably, but we've shared this road together. These lips are full by now of the rose of yearning and long for the possibility of brushing your cheek. It will not have been then that I had given my life to the lords of the marketplace and sold more than my time. Two. Why did I leave the bedside of my mother before she died, the whole family attending to her? I was the one who was too confused, too unsettled, a leaf drifting in spirals to the cold ground. I have been with you my entire adulthood, and my family is now just this tree of songs. Won't you sit beneath the flowering plum tree with me and hear my loosely strung guitar? Is it too late to think of going home, I often ask, and again I hear the rivers speak. The river of all of our ancestors' tears and songs has taken me up again in its loom of rhythms. You have worn my garments like a necklace of songs upon your soul, braceleted in the vow to remember. It must have been you who inherited the laundry I abandoned when I left our home on a British bus. Your tears are woven into my lamb's wool and beat up upon my sleeves falling from these eyes. Thank you, I will say, for thinking of our vow, even in the absence of the apples in your basket. I would have brought one to you every day to give to our children for their foreign teachers. How the blackboards are full of the arithmetic of war and of the grammar of impossibility. I never thought I would take to the shovel the way my father did for the road commissioner. It seemed to be the chore that was closest to hand, while it gave my heart the greatest freedom. In the West, they say that the philosophers trip in the roadside ditches while contemplating the stars. In wandering through the lands of my adopted home, I have been smarter than the old philosophers. As cunning as I've been, though, I have still not been able to keep my hands clean of the old soil. You keep on washing over me as I clean my face in the river that ran by your household. Your river has poured out of every faucet and spouted out of every shower, turned in every toilet. Even my own tears have the sweet taste of that river when I envision you beside me. Did you think to share my letters, the whole parcel of them, with my parents? How odd to have forgotten my own language and to have written them in a foreign tongue. Who knows if even you, with your English, would have been able to interpret them. Maybe it's better that our kinsfolk do not know of the whereabouts of their sons who leave. It is at the same time too precious to live, and at the same time too dangerous. Life is hard under my feet, and it is a hard road. I have only the rose of my yearning to offer to your hand. Perhaps it will decorate your hair. Dear old death, I have written since. Do not take me until I lay again beside my sweetheart. Just as the sun overbrowns the used grass, I turn white in the remembrance of how I used to be. My skin is frailer now from the food I've been cooking, and the nutrients in our village's stew have been lost to me. What did I gain in this barter with the world? Why did I sell my time and my home for adventure? 3. These shoes are not wasted on these feet, but dear goddess, why do I not drink at your bosom? The milk of your heart runs down my throat in this song, but still I am thirstier than a dog. What drink will it take for me to finally slake this ancient thirst, known to thousands of thousands? I travel in the world of this body, and make a world of the sensorium of my mind, but have no home. I am orphaned by time itself, and by the families of the stars at night, if not also by the wistful moon. October finds me still checking my bags for the proper blankets for a night's sleep. O goddess, is your face the maiden's, who covers herself in the darkness of the earth's shadow? It seems that Venus is a child in your arms, as you nurse the light in your close embrace. I have run myself ragged in the thought and in the remembrance of an older twilight. It was to be that I would not have taken on so much extra clothing in addition to my guitar. I can only bundle up tonight beside the campfire on the roadside that leads into the mountain. The mountain still remains a legend inside of my childhood dreams. The mountain is for coming home, but no one leaves by the paths that wind down from the mountain. The U.S. warmongers, whom we were warned not to befriend, had laid mines there that took our lives already. Grandpa, who shared his beef and potatoes with the soldier, was shunned and nearly killed by the state. This mountain is only for those hermits who had hid themselves away from worry. Strange how now it seems to me more of a fable than an actual truth to fear. If I cross my thumbs and join my fingertips, it is only because I am centering myself in my heart. The kindness of the Church has been to preserve us, who have been in exile for so long, but at the cost of our traditions. I have had to strip myself bare of all clothing, and to defrock myself in order to think of a genuine return. Nobler it is to suffer in the name of one's true love than it is to suffer in the name of an enemy God. My crucifix has been the transmogrification in the state of my own soul. Having left my authentic home, I have no need of a false awning against loss and insecurity. My shelter is the thought of my sweetheart and the family we would have, the connection to myself and to my world. I hate the soil that assumes the role of being a road, whereas it must only be plowed under. I have lost my home, hooray, and I live in the boundless country. I have found my home indeed, and I will plant my seeds in this yard. It is no great bother to take off the extra clothing, and to be as nude as one's soul beneath the morning sky. Never mind that one must dress according to the customs of the land one is traveling through. One is still one's own. My renunciation has met with my embrace of everything that the world has to offer. Now all I think of is to lay beside you, my sweet, my lovely. If you rest in another man's arms at night, I will continue. 4. I will continue beyond the house where I used to sit with your aunt, making sure her pitchers were full. I will even venture into the hostile climate of the new America again, if you do not take me as I am. I will work until my hands are worn through to the bone, and accept my retirement gift from the boss. I will fill the soil with the tears of my grief, having sold myself twice and left myself twice. I will enjoy a lasting comfort in the grave of your heart, where I will have been buried forever. It will have been owing to my own folly that I had left my family for an adventure. Alas, what could I have done differently, I ask, being as naive as the rest of the peasants in our village? The technology and the communications of the rest of the world were powerful, seductive. I was bewildered by the propensity popular among the unfathered and rebellious youth to leave. It was the strength of my rebellion that has been harvested into a greater courage than I could have had. Now I look upon my twilight and upon my dawn with the eyes of passage and experience. I've grown my soul, conversely to what you and our kinsmen might think, into a soul worthy of you. I have not become complacent in a land that simply turns into sod under our feet. We watch how the wheat rises out of the earth in sheaves that sway, knowing the winds. My feet stand upon a land that is in the forever, never beginning and never ending. So it is that I have benefited our love through being a voyager in the world of illusion. I have seen how things change and ripen, mature and wither, then die, passing on the seeds of their lives. I see how things change accordingly to their names, becoming unsettled in their identities, crumbling. Nothing belongs to us so long as we live. We belong to no one so long as we are always home. Everyone is our family, and yet still I have not yet given the spring blossoms to my mother's grave. If you will accept, O light in my morning eyes, this peasant into your land of abundance, he will work daily. Everywhere is home, and the home of one's birth not more so, but not less so either. Understand my yearning, and accept me in your home. Understand that this heart is desolate, war-torn. Take me by the hand, and lead me to the waters where I drank my first bowl of wine with you. Do not disappoint this victim of his own rebellion, and allow him to make a peace with his nativity. If you will have me, I will stay and be forever in the graces of your charity and hospitableness. 5. I have sung my songs of exile and wish to sing a song of comradeship and companionship. Inside of the apple are as many seeds as can be held in a humanity. If you quarter the apple, its seeds sometimes fall loosely around the juice of the skin. Our future is foretold in the first tree from which the first apple fell and split open, rotting on the ground. I will give you a basket of such apples, but only such as I have picked from the trees in other nations. I have found the quarters of each apple to be whole under the knife that divides us. What is it that produces more fruit except the dispersing of the seeds from the fruit that has fallen? I have fallen from my tree, yes, but the life of me shall be planted in the soil that is the same under your feet. No matter that I shall be with you again, or even for the duration of my days, so long as I have gained my home. A kiss from you will mean that the multitudes of men and of women will be joined again. I miss the mornings in which I walked with you through the neighbors' groves, telling stupid jokes. It is not contradictory, is it, to want your kiss, and also to want to remain free to be myself? I will have joined the world in my thoughts upon my return to your doorstep. I will have made my journey round and have remained unmistaken in myself. Sitting with you atop the mountain that lifts its peak above the high plain of the road, I will have taken the long road home and been united within myself. I plan to die the death with which our kinsmen have been honored for thousands of years. Having divested myself of the world, I can embrace the world as the place where I came to be this one. You were the indispensable ally to my becoming. I therefore owe my labor to you as an inheritance. I shall gladly give you the bounty of my hands, and of my heart, and the jewel of my song. Oh, when the night turns to another day, let me then take the sheets from your body and welcome you. You were, after all, the one whom my parents chose for me to wed, and my word is with them. Honoring a family's word is more sacred than the rest of the trusts that one has been made to avow. 6. My wooden cup is full with the tea that I had bought when passing through the valley's towns. So many words which are not my own, and so many songs which have yet to be sung in my own voice. Placing one foot before the other, the distance between house and home is walked. I would very much like to have greeted you in the language that your mother sung to you as a nursling. Forgotten is my daily prose, and even my invented English is not adequate to sing my heart fully. The bread I would be eating now would have come from the labor of my and our father's own hands. The taste of it is strange, but it is not stranger than the taste of bread that is baked without love. Will you welcome me over the threshold of the door that I had once abandoned? The families I shall enter might, I fear, see me as having been already inbred by foreigners. Prejudice among the villagers runs strongly. You will understand me, won't you, and embrace me strongly. My blood is the same as is in the veins of those who might reject me as a foreigner. I have not become other than you, nor other than myself. I know still some of our ancient customs. The oracle has not been foreign to my hands. As the leaves turn, I await the turning of the season of our love. Now is the harvest time. Now is the time to gather our fruits. I know the games still that we used to play, and can make hand shadows in the flames. Surely my family and kinsfolk will see me as being not different from their children. Our hearts beat to the same ancient rhythms of our home and summon the same spirits. The tree we sat under when we made our pact to be together again upon this return, is it still standing? We have not branched off so utterly that the elders who are so set in the older ways will say our trees are different. I have stood on the same ground as they did in their early age, and will continue on that ground. Even if my language is misunderstood by my own kin, I can accept the tutelage of the schoolmaster again. I can relearn the names of the things that are simplest for you to call by their names. If the nature of my domesticity comes under suspicion, I can show the marks upon my ear by which you knew me. As a very last resource, the elders will know the rhythms in my song as their own. My song will bear the burden of proof to the doubters in my birth origin. Surely the lineage of my music is theirs in an undeniable relation. This song shall be my passport to my own house. The spirit of our ancestors is so richly imbued in the songs I shall sing to you. As a final wish, if sadly I am not accepted as one of my own kin, you may bury me in my family's shroud. Place my heart beside yours in the earth where we made somersaults and told each other secrets. Where the navel of our first child would be buried, let me rest under the shade of that tree. I sing to you from the first pass into the mountain and enter into the customs of your love. Welcome me as I have welcomed you and given you an eternal cord of alliance. Let me finally not be turned away with a lesser welcome than the soldier. Let me not be treated as an informant or as the one beaten up for his kindness to a fellow man in need. I am yours truly, and so truly I give myself continuously to you in the faith that you will hear me. Prepared for refusal and also for the ignorance of my pleas, I sing this song of peace. Broken Shoes gives his word to you that he will not die while on pilgrimage. Even the tilting of the raven in the sky seems a good omen for his return home.